So we know that I'm going to get 4.4 for your Unit 4 test. So that's a given. If I'm able to finish 4.3 and 4.4, which I should be able to because it's only antiderivatives, then that means I'm going to go through Chapter 3, and I'm going to pick some hot spots. And I'm just going to go over those hot spots, and then I'm going to give you Unit 3 homework, and it's going to cover just those hot spots. And I'm just going to do away with the rest of Unit 3 homework. I'm only going to give you one homework on Unit 3, okay? And this is going to be called the Unit 3 homework. Now, I could give y'all a separate test, but I just feel like it'd be just go ahead and put the hot spots on there, or I might make it a separate test. That's what I'll do. I'll make it a separate test. So y'all's Unit 4 and Unit 3 test, we're talking about probably 3 or 4 questions. Okay, very short, 3 or 5 questions. If I get to it Tuesday. If I don't get to it Tuesday, then you're just going to have a Unit 4 test. All right? Final exam, be probably 25 questions for y'all, since it's calculus. Old test, go to grade book, hit test, and hit review, and go over your old test. During the week, the final, I'll start on 4/21. During the week of finals, I will be checking the weights and percentages on the grade books, and I'll be assigning zeros for incomplete assignments. And to find your grade, all you have to do is go to grade book, hit overall grade. Now, I did cover this Thursday last week, did I not?
Yes.
So this is the second day that I have covered this material. I'm going to cut off the video right now. Okay, so with that being said, I've got a couple of homework problems to go over. And I can tell you right now that these homework problems probably will not be on the test. Okay, because this is out of the problems that I see, they're out of 4.2, and 4.2 will not be on the test. Now the homework will, because rhyming sum is good and all, but it's not detrimental. So go ahead and turn your videos off. Not that I don't mind looking at you, but I don't want to delay it any way that I can. Let me turn my phone off, also my wireless on my phone. Making sure I don't have anybody else Skyping in. Nope. And wireless is off. I already turned it off. Okay, so let me go to here and here. And y'all should be able to see my screen. And go down. I'm just going to pick problems as they go. I think I got this question from both of y'all. This is the question about the circle, I think. Yeah. This is the question about the circle, so I'm just going to do one of these. And first of all, let me pull up my handy dandy, move this over. All right, now what they're saying is use geometry to evaluate the definite integral. All right, it does not say use calculus, does it? Why? Because you can't do this by calculus because we haven't, this is actually a circle because you would have to do the trig function. This is a trig function. If you were in Calc 2, you would be doing this. But anyway, you can't take the derivative of this, not right now. So they're using geometry. So the first thing you're going to do is what are you actually finding? Well, anytime you have a number, an x squared, in a function, that means that you're dealing with a circle. Okay? Y squared is equal to x squared plus some number. Okay? That is a circle because you get y is equal to the square root of x squared plus some number. That is a circle. So I don't know if you knew that or not, but that's what we're dealing with. So you've got a circle, and yours, in this case, the square root of 4 minus x squared. The square root of 4 is equal to 2, so 2 is equal to the radius. Okay, and that's the way, that's just given. And you should have seen this before in Algebra 2, or maybe pre-cal, whenever you have a, whenever you have x squared plus a number, take the square root of this number, and that will give you the radius. So we've got a number, I'm in a circle with a radius of 2. And it says that they want to find from 0 to negative 2. 0 to negative 2. So they're looking at this half right here. Okay? But it says, 0 to negative 2. So you could say that they're looking for this whole area. But I think they're wanting a positive area. I think they're wanting this area right here. It doesn't matter because you're going to find the radius for the whole circle, and then you can just divide it by, 4 or 2 or whatever you want to. So the area of the whole circle is pi r squared. Yeah. The area for the whole circle is equal to pi r squared. So that's going to be area of the circle is equal to pi times 2 squared. And that's going to be area of the circle is equal to 4 pi. Now that is the area of the whole circle. So if you want to find the area of just this fourth, this is going to be pi, this is going to be pi, this is going to be pi, and this is going to be pi. Because the area of the whole circle is 4 pi. So whatever the question's asking, your area is going to be based on this right here, 4 pi. And I think the answer is pi, because I think they're just asking for a quarter. So type in pi, and that's it. 4.2 is showing you why we have calculus, okay? 4.2 is not calculus. There may be some calculus in it, but I thought it was a continuation of 4.1, where they actually did the continuation in 4.3. So that's why I wasn't ready for 4.2 being why do we have calculus. Okay, so that's that question. I think a couple of y'all sent that question, so I think Ms. Cox sent it. Does that help you, Ms. Cox and Miss Billy?
Yeah, but how did you know that it only wanted a quarter of it?
Say again?
How did you know that it only wanted, like, the quarter? Like, why wasn't it 4 pi? How did you know it only wanted pi?
Well, 4 pi is the whole circle. And it just seemed like to me, since you have 4 quadrants, and since they wanted 0 to negative 2, I was just assuming that they wanted the top quadrant. Okay?
Okay.
Because the top quadrant is positive, even though you have a negative side, and y is positive usually, and that's why just when you're dealing with a circle, hold on a second. When you're dealing with a circle, usually they want the top because y is positive. Okay? And you don't want to have a negative y. In other words, negative y is equal to the square root of x squared plus 4. You don't want this. So usually, when you're talking about a circle, you're usually talking about the top half, because that makes y equal to positive. Now, the 0 to negative 2 dwindles it down to this side. Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
Because this is 0 to 2. So most of these problems that they're asking on these is going to be this quadrant right here. Unless they ask 0 to 2, then it would be this quadrant, which would be the same answer. The next question. I think the next couple of questions is going to be about rhyming, because they're asking you to do the I want to hurry up and get through these because they're not really beneficial for y'all except for a homework question. Approximate the area under the graph of blah, blah, blah over the interval 3 to 11 by dividing the interval into 4 subintervals. Use the left endpoint of each subinterval. The area under the curve is this same thing of blah, 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 approximately. Okay, so the area under the curve, if you graph the curve, it's going to look something like just a curve. It ain't going to be anything spectacular. You know the y-intercept is 65, so it's going to look something like this. And I just graphed it on a calculator. I didn't even graph the numbers. I know that number because if you plug in 0 for x, you get 65. And then from 3 to 11, so that means that distance is equal to 8. So the distance from 3 to 11 is equal to 8. So if I want to divide that into 4, delta x is equal to 8 over 4, which is 2. So delta x is 2. So that means each one of your rectangles, the bottom is going to be 2 units. I'll put a little 2 here, a little 2 here, a little 2 here, and a little 2 there. So all we got to find is the height. I'm going to do this in green. We got to find this height, this height, this height, and this height. Why? Because the directions said right here, use the left endpoint of each interval, the left side. So I use the left side here, the left side here, the left side here, and the left side here. So I got to find this height, this height, this height, and this height. And this is Ryman's sum. Ryman said that if you take the rectangles in each proportion in 3 to 11 and you divide it, the smaller the rectangle, the more accurate you are. The larger the rectangle, the more inaccurate. And this is approximate. And this was before calculus. Okay, so I'm going to take, let's say this is 3. So this would be 5. 5, that would be 7. And that would be 9. So I'm going to plug in 3, 5, 7, and 9 to get these heights. So let's do that. Let me take my handy dandy. Let's see, what's the formula? So f of 3 is equal to 0.03 3 to the 4th minus 1.69 3 squared plus 65. I have no idea what that is, but you're going to have to calculate it for me because I'm not going to use that calculator. So somebody be calculating that one. F of 5 is equal to 0.03 5 to the 4th minus 1.69 5 to the 2nd plus 65. Sorry. Yep,
I got 52.2.
I'm sorry, what? 3. What?
I got 52.2 for f of 3.
2.2. So I'm going to put
52.2.
52.2.
Yeah.
That's the height of that first line. Okay.
Do you want me to give you the next? I have those too.
I'm sorry, what?
I have 5 and 7 also if you want those right now.
Okay, what is 5?
5 is 41.5.
Okay.
And then 7 is 54.22.
All right, somebody give me the last one. What is 9? 54.27. Is that
0.22.
Okay.
Yeah, that one was 7.
54.27.
0.22.
I can't read my own writing. And that one is 41.5.
Yeah.
And this one is 52.2. All right, somebody give me 9.
I got 124.24, but that seems really big.
Well, check it. Somebody check it behind her. Somebody got it? What did you get again, Miss Cox?
It was 124.94.
I got the same thing.
That's what I got.
All right, so that's equal to 124.94. So the area of each one of these rectangles is going to be 2 times 52.2 plus 2 times 41.5 plus 2 times 54.22 plus 2 times 124.94. This right here is Ryman's sum, where you take each one of the rectangles and you multiply the length times base times the height, and you get an approximate area. So add all those up and tell me what you get, because I don't know if we got no, we don't have an answer for this one. We got to type it in. So round it to 2 digits, because I think that's probably what they want. So what do y'all get? Whew, got too much celery in that one.
I got 545.72.
That's what I got.
545.72. Well, let's see what the answer is. I'm going to use the hundredths. 540, that's just a general rule. 545.72. Let's see what they get, because it's probably rounding. Yep. That's another reason I don't want to put these on the test, is because they rounding, and I don't know how they got. You just have to check. I mean, to me, they should round to the height. They should round to the nearest number. So that would be 546. And I don't know why they just don't say round to the nearest integer, because that would cover everybody, whether you had a 7.2 or a 7.6. So I'm not worried about that. But that's how you do it. And that's rhyming sum. I think somebody sent another question like this. And we'll do that one. And then I'm going to move, well, I'm going to do this next one because it's got some actual integration in it. This next one could be a test question. I think it's this one. Yes, 4.1. 4.1 are good test questions.
Yeah, I went to tutoring about this one, and he couldn't figure out like what it was asking, and so he told me to ask you.
Okay. Well, actually, it's pretty straightforward. Okay. The rates of change for two cities is that and that. So write those two down. So let me write my two down. I'm going to do different colors. So I'm going to do P prime of T is equal to 45. And Q prime of T is equal to 105 e to the 0.05 t. Where t is the number of years since 1990. Okay, you can write that anywhere, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Are measured in parts. In 1990, Alphaville has a population of 5,500. So I'm going to put in 1990, let's just do this one. In 1990, the population is equal to 3,000 here. And in 1990, the population is equal to 5,500 here. Now, I can tell you right now, I know what they're going to ask you on this one. First thing they're going to ask you is find the original formula and find C. That's what they're going to ask you. Okay? Because I've seen these problems before. These are standardized test questions. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is find the antiderivative of that and find the antiderivative of that. That's the first thing. And that's pretty simple, especially with P of t, because P of t is a constant. P prime of t is a constant. So that means P of t is going to be equal to 45t plus C. Oh, where did 3 come from? Where in the world did 3 come from? Plus C. I'm going to rewrite that. P of t is equal to 45t plus C. Okay? And let's go over to the pink one and let's find that one. But you're not going to find it because you're just going to sit there and stare at it because it's e to the 0.05t. Well, remember, I showed you in 4.1 that you take 0.05 and divide it by what? And divide it into 1 over 0.05. So you can do that. 105, pull that out. Antiderivative of e to the 0.05t. And that's going to be equal to 105 times 1 over 0.05 e to the 0.05t. And take 105 divided by 0.05. What do you get? It'll be 2,100, I think. What do you get?
Yes, 100.
So that's going to be 2,100 e to the 0.05t, and that is q of t. Oh, don't forget the plus c. There it goes again. Where did the 3 come from? All right, so this is that one, and this is that one. So I can guarantee you that A is going to be find the, yeah, it is. Okay, find the antiderivatives. So we just did that. That's A. The next part is they know that in 1990, what is 1990? 1990 is x is equal to 0, or t is equal to 0, right? Where t is the number of years since 1990. So what would 1990 be? 0. So here at 1990, which x is, or t is equal to 0, you get 5,500 is equal to 45 times 0 plus c. And here you're going to get at 1990 t is equal to 0. What is it? 3,000, 2,100 e to the 0.05 times 0 plus c. And that's going to go to 1. E to the 0 is 1. So 3,000 is equal to 2,100 plus c. So in this case, in the green, c, that goes to 0, c is equal to 5,500. And in this case, minus 2,100, c is equal to 900. Therefore, P of t is equal to 45t plus 5,500. I'm just kidding. No, actually, dogs do get on my nerves. That's why I got cats. I don't have
I'll
cats.
mute it until they. So sorry. We're probably getting mail right now.
That's all right. I'm just kidding. Now, if they kept on barking, I would say something. But all right. So this is going to be Q of t is equal to 2,100 e to the 0.05 t plus 900. And I guarantee you they're going to ask that for B. And of course they're going to ask a second part, probably t is equal to 10, I think they said, are going to. I'm not, so I'll check. Okay. 4t plus 5,500, that's what we got. 45t plus 5,500. And this, I'm not doing all that. I'm just going to do 3 and just check the answer to see if that's what we got. Okay, 2,100 e to the 0.05t plus 900. That's it. All right, what is the difference between 1990 and 2000?
10.
10. So C, or B, is t is equal to 10. So B t is equal to 10. Well, I'm not going to insult your intelligence. I'm going to let y'all do that. But I am going to write the two formulas down. P of 10 is equal to 45 times 10 plus 5,500. Now, if you use a calculator for this, you should have your butt kicked. 450 plus 5,500 is equal to, dang old 5,950. And in pink, Q of 10 is equal to 2100 e to the 0.05 times 10. Well, that's not hard, people. What's 10 nickels? 50 cents, Hubert. That's right, class. So that's going to be 2100 e to the 0.5 plus 900. Now you will need a calculator for that. Somebody crank that out for me. And we're just going to go, I'm going to do what's normal. It says round to the nearest 100. You got to be kidding. Oh, nearest 100. Okay. So that's going to be 5950 is close to what? 6,000? That should be 6,000 because 9, if you bump 9 up, that's the 100, right? If you bump 9 up, bump this up to 6. So that should be 6,000. But knowing this dadgum, sometimes the answers on these things don't make any sense. But 6,000, and I can't type. All right, somebody give me the next one. Give me the actual number so I can put it on the document cam. So take e to the 0.5, multiply it by 2100, then add 900. Tell me what you get. I hope y'all are doing it.
I got 3,107.67.
3,107 point what?
0.67. Oh, hold on. I did it to the 0.05, so I'm wrong.
I got 4,362.
That's what I got.
31.
Yeah.
Say it one more time.
4,362.31.
So round it to the nearest, so that's going to bump that 4,400. And type that in. And you feel good about yourself. Now what do they want to do is C. Okay, you can graph these two on your calculator. I can tell you that the 45, okay, where's your green, you've got a y-intercept of 5,500. And it is a straight line. And then you got your pink with a y-intercept of 900. And an E is going to look like a curve going up. So I don't know which one you think it is, but it looks like to me it's going to be, hold on, looks like B. Maybe, let's see, no. I don't know, it looks like B. But you would use your calculator. Use your calculator and put in that one right there. Hold on, I just didn't show y'all. Put in your calculator 45t plus 55, and then 21e to the 0.05 plus 900. Now, just by eyeballing it, I look like that. Okay, so let me use my calculator, and we need to move on after this question. I don't mean to cut y'all off. I only think there's one other one, and I'll go over that one later. I'll need to get y'all into the other. All right, so I'm going to graph y is equal to I'd like to do green. Let's see if I can change that to green. Yeah, I can. Well, why can't I change it to green? Oh, I bet I gotta. There we go, green. And I'm going to type in, and I'm trying to get there. It won't let me go. Okay. All right, green. I'm going to type in, I just hit my toe on the chair. 45t, 45x plus 5500. And then I'm going to do the next one. I want to do it in pink. Might have to use magenta. The things I do for y'all, but I don't do posters. And this is going to be 2100 e to the point 0.05 x, come back down, plus 900. Y'all with me? Hit graph.
Yes.
Make sure stat plot is turned off. Second, y is equal. Okay, just go away. Second, y is equal. Second, y is equal. Yeah, turn stat plot off. Now hit graph. And it's probably not showing it because we got so I'm going to hit zoom fit. And you might need to adjust your window. I'm not going to get into that right now, but of course you should. I've hit zoom and it's not. Zoom what? Fit? Where's zoom fit? Zero. There we go. There's the green line. And there is the pink line. You might need to zoom out a little bit. Zoom out. And this is why this is not a test question, because this is just taking too much time. And I don't really care, about this question, but I'm showing you how to find it. And you see that it's going to cross. There we go. Now you need to find the intersection point probably. So I'm going to hit second, calculate, intersect, enter. And I'm just going to hit enter and enter. It's asking you where the two lines. And then where's my guess? I'm going to put my guess right near where it intersects. And enter. So what is that? 19, 20 years? So 20 years from 1990 is what, 2010? I would assume if I got everything typed in right. So it looks like B is your answer, but y'all can do that on a calculator. The two cities have the same population, what I say, 2020? 1990 plus 20, 2010. And we did that by the calculator. Okay, I'm going to move on. I don't mean to cut y'all off, but I need to get to, oh great. I need to get to the stuff that's going to make up your test. Let me delete these three. We went over 3 of these questions. Okay. All right, let me get to the test. What do I mean test? I want to get to the stuff that's actually going to be on the test. And I think, Ms. Cox, that first question that we did with the rectangles, I think it'll help your other homework question that you had. I think it was the same one.
I think it was.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to shut this down and make this wide. Okay, now I'm going to hit the hot spots, 4.3 and 4.4. Okay. And we went over some of this the other day because I thought 4.2 was a continuation of 4.1, but actually 4.3 is a continuation. Find the area under the curve 2 to 6 of 4x plus 2 dx. Okay, this is where we left off, I think Thursday of last week. I was showing y'all how to find the area using the evaluation process. So let's draw the curve. This is a straight line, but I like to draw it so you can see what it looks like. And you can use your calculator if you want to do it in a hurry. 1, 2, so that's our y-intercept. We know it's going like that. And they want to know from 2 to 6. So they want to know this area. Now that was Riemann's sum. 4 minus 6, or 2 from 6 is 4. So you would put a rectangle here, a rectangle here, a rectangle here. That would be 2, 2, 2, or let's see, I'm sorry, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then you would find this height, this height, this height, and this height at 3, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you would add all those up. And that's a very crude way of doing it. Here is the new way. After you've done 4.2, this is the eastern sky opening up and divinity coming down. This is calculus. We're going to take the integration. I'm going to change it to green because I don't have posters. 4x squared over 2 plus 2x evaluated at 6 and 2. Now you can go ahead and simplify 2x squared plus 2x, 2 and 6. Now I tell students, this is the way I do it. If you walk into my class, if you walk into my office 5 years from now and you say, Hubert, I'm in this calculus class and I'm doing this problem, show me how to do this problem. And I would, no matter if you're my student or I'm doing it myself, this is the way I do evaluations. And this is the way that most of my students follow along and they do it right, except for the ones that know it all. Okay? I rewrite this twice with parentheses. So I go 2 parentheses squared plus 2 times parentheses, and then I minus, put a block there, and I put a block here, and then I write 2 parentheses squared plus 2 times parentheses. And that's what I do, and I'll do it till the day that I quit teaching. Okay? Because that's the way I did it as a student. And you know what? I got my several degrees, so it must work. So if you've always sucked at this, then that might be something you might want to use. I'm going to put a 6 here, and a 6 here, and a 2 here, and a 2 here. And then I'm just going to do basic math. 6 squared is 36 times 2 plus 12 minus 2 times 4 plus 4. 72 plus 12 minus 8 plus 4. And 72 plus 12 is 84, minus 12 is equal to 72. So that's equal to 72 units squared. And calculus, doing this, integration, a definite integral with a lower bound and an upper bound, took the place of Riemann's sum. This is a test question. Like I said, 4.1, 4.3, 4.4 will make up 90% of your test out of Chapter 4. So any homework question you got that takes the antiderivative or takes the antiderivative with respect to a lower bound or upper bound, make sure you do it 5 or 6 times. Now let's do a nerd. Now this one looks like a problem we did before in the homework, but it's not because you don't have a square root. Okay? So this one says the antiderivative of negative 4 to 4, 16 minus x squared dx. And somebody tell me what this is. It's a circle. And basically it looks like this. But they don't want you to, they want to know what the area is under this hemisphere, this northern hemisphere. So I want you to take the derivative, and then I want you to, take the antiderivative, and then I want you to evaluate at 4 and negative 4. This is a test question. Y'all know I'm teaching 140 this semester, don't you?
I think I heard you were.
You ought to take it. It ain't going to hurt you none. I tell students to take
I think
all
I signed up.
What?
I think I signed up for your 120. I'm pretty sure it's your class.
Is it at the
end of the summer?
Well, I sent it to, how did I? Hold on, I think I sent it to somebody. The CRNs for my 120s, somebody texted me yesterday.
You should do 2:30 instead, and then I'll switch into your class.
I wish I could, but I'm not, quote, the people to teach. That's the two god and goddesses at Tri-County Tech Pendleton campus.
I'm kind of mad at that.
What? What were y'all gonna say?
I'm kind of mad. You can't teach it.
All right, I'm gonna look up that student. Hold on, Mark McCullough, M-A-R-K.
I signed up for the CRN. That's 37299.
Well, hold on a minute, and I'll pull it up and let y'all see it, because I can't find it right now, and I'm gonna pull it up while y'all are working on this. Summer classes.
Do you know, like, for the summer classes, are they doing, like, are the other professors using Zoom or anything, or is it just kind of like it's online, they're going to give you, like, the notes and stuff?
It depends on who you get.
Oh,
Like, for instance, if you knew you were taking me, you know what you were getting.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of the students, now the math department is doing a good job in getting with the program. I would say probably 90% of the teachers are doing some kind of something like I'm doing.
Because
that's not going to be your problem.
Well, it's going to be a slight problem because I'll have to wake up every day for a month at 8 a.m. and do math.
Well, that's called life, so you might as well get used to that. That's how my kids.
It's going to be miserable. It's fine.
Oh, come on now. It ain't going to be that bad. Not if you go to bed. If you go to bed at 9 o'clock, it ain't that bad.
Well, like, it's like a whole month of summer where it's kind of, I can't really, I can do stuff, but I have to be up at like 8 to 9 a.m.
Well, you're going to have to, because you know why? Bernie is not going to be able to take care of you.
Bernie would never be allowed to take care of me.
That's a good answer.
Out.
All right, here we go. My math 120 is 32799.
327?
37299.
Okay, that's what I signed up for.
My online, I got a 120 online also. It's 37426. My math 140 is 37577. Just in case y'all want to know.
So will we do this like at the same time? Like the same thing? Like do Scott for Business at that time?
Yeah, it's the only difference between now and next semester is going to be mandatory. In other words, you Skype in every day. It's just like class. The only reason we're not doing it now is because it's kind of sprung on us, and we can't make it mandatory when that's not what you signed up for. In this case, every Tuesday and Thursday at 12:30 to 2:30, you'll be Skyping in with me. Now, after the first week of class, I'm going to tell everybody, you can, use the videos as emergencies, but I would like for everybody to make a 90% effort to Skype in every day. So that's what I'll tell people at the beginning. So, but yeah, 2:30. When's it being taught?
I signed up for the, I think it's May 11th to June 15th.
Oh, that's the session B.
Yeah, I don't know. I just took whatever I could get because at first, whenever I signed up, it put me in the one that's in July, like June through July, and it was campus, and I was like, I can't do that.
I would do the session 2 if I was you.
Yeah, I can't because I can't move back up to Pendleton in the middle of the summer.
Well, All right, so here we go. That's going to be 16x minus x to the third over 3, evaluated at -4 and 4. So I'm going to rewrite mine. 16 parentheses minus parentheses to the third over 3 minus 16 times parentheses minus parentheses to the third over 3. And now I'm going to plug in my 4 and my -4. And that's going to give me 16 times 4 is 64 minus 4 times 4 is 16 times 4, so that's going to be 64 over 3 minus parentheses -64 minus, that's going to be a -64, which makes that a plus 64 over 3. And let's go ahead and change 64 over 1 into thirds. So I'm going to change, that'll be a 3. 3 times 64 is 192. Y'all check me.
Yes.
Minus a -192 over 3 plus 64 over 3. And that's going to give me 128 over 3. 128 over 3 plus 128 over 3, which is 256 over 3, which is equal to, y'all check me, 85.3 square units.
Yeah.
Now, I got a question. Can this be done a different way? I did one of these Thursday for y'all. Can this be done a different way? Yes or no? You got a 50-50 shot, even if you didn't pay attention Thursday.
Yes.
Yes. Why?
Hold on, you have to give me a second, because this is the way I would have solved it to begin with.
What's the word we're looking for? It starts with an S.
Oh, it's symmetrical.
Symmetrical. If you have a, that's why it's so important to graph it. If you have something, and I cannot remember, I guess that's right. I can't ever remember if it has 2 C's or, anyway. If you have something that's symmetrical, that means all you have to do is find one side and multiply it by what? 2. So why am I going to find the right side? Somebody tell me why I picked the right side.
Because it ends up being
Positive numbers, 0 and 4. So I'm going to go over to the next page. And I'm going to set up my interval from 0 to 4 of 16 minus x squared dx. Now do this one. And both of these are test questions. So we already did the antiderivative. The antiderivative is 16x minus x cubed over 3. 16x minus x cubed over 3. Evaluated at 0 and 4. You know what? I like y'all, so I'm going to do 0 for y'all. Let's see. 0. Let's see. I'm going to calculate it in my mind. 0 comes out to be 0. Now, is that why you want to use 0? Yes. You don't have to do as much work. So your final answer is 16 times times 4 minus 4 to the third power over 3. 16 times 4 is 64 over 1 is equal to 64 over 3 minus. And 3 times 64, we said that was 192.
Yes.
And what's 192 minus 64? Well, 12 minus 4 is 8. And 18 minus 6 is 12.
Yeah, it's 128.
And 128 times 2 is 256 over 3, which we said 256 over 3 is 85.3.
Hi there.
So, because it was symmetrical, I was able to do half the work and still get the right answer. Is this a trick you need to learn? Yes. All right, I might go a little bit over today, but it's not like anybody watching the video is going to do anything about it. It's only y'all. So, all right, so I'm going to do this one. And you're going to see this on the test because it's E. Antiderivative from 0 to 3 of 6e to the 0.5t dt. And I'm going to draw you a graph so you'll see what it looks like. From 0 to 3. I'm going to do it in another color. Let's do it in that yellow that y'all hate. There we go. And that is some ugly clashing colors, yellow and whatever color that is, magenta. So that's the area. Go to it. If you can't do it, then that means you are a loser because we already did one like this in the previous homework question. We took e to the 0.05t, I think it was. So I'm just going to use a little bit of calculus properties. I'm going to pull that 6 out. And the antiderivative of e to the 0.5t would be 1 over 0.5 times e to the 0.5t evaluated at 0 and 3 multiplied by 6. 6 over 0.5 e to the 0.5t evaluated at 0 and 3. Now 0 is not going to zero this out, because 0 is going to give you e to the 0, which is 1, and 1 times 6 over 0.5 is 6 over 0.5. So I'm going to put brackets 6 over 0.5 e to the 0.5 times 3 minus, and I'm just going to rewrite this, 6 over 0.5. I'm going to put parentheses around that, because that's what happens when you plug in 0. When you plug that 0 in, you get 0.5 times 0 is 0. E to the 0 is just like anything raised to the 0 is equal to 1. And 1 times 6 times 0.5 is equal to 6 over 0.5. Now I do that because you have to be careful. When you're dealing with E, you can't say, oh, 0 is just going to cancel out to be 0. You can't do that. So I'm going to put a highlight around that 0 here, and I'm going to highlight that with that greenish color, and because of this guy. If you have a 0 with an E, you can't just say, oh, that's going to zero out. You can't do that. And I'm going to just do it all out, and that comes out to be 1 divided by 0.5, or 6 divided by 0.5 is 12. So that comes out to be 41.8. I got 41.8. And I'm going to do what Dr. Harden at Clemson used to tell me. In other words, you know how to do this. And I get 41.8. I used to make fun of that man grunting, and I'm using his grunts to show. He'd have like 15 boards behind him, blackboards filled with calculus, and then he'd get down to the very end where the tedious math was, and he'd go, Dr. Harden in Harden Hall. Okay, I'm going to skip over to one like this. And I'm looking at the time. I got at least 5 more minutes. So at least I can get 1 or 2 more in. This is a test question. -1 to 2 of 2t to the third minus 4 dt. And it looks like this. -1 to 2. 1, 2. And it crosses here. And 1, -1 down here. Now I want you to notice something. Look at the graph, and it's important that you look at the graph from a sketching standpoint or a calculator standpoint. What do you notice about the 2 areas? What do you notice about the 2 areas? Somebody tell me what you notice. I mean, it's not a trick question. It's pretty straightforward. What do you notice about those 2 areas?
One's negative and one's positive?
Yes, and the negative one is what? What do you notice about the negative area, or the one below the area? I don't want to say negative area because that doesn't calculate. It's the area under the x-axis. What do you notice about the area under the x-axis versus the area above the x-axis? Just look at it. All you got to do is look at it and tell me. It's not a trick question. Which one's larger?
The one above.
Okay, look at it again.
The one below is larger.
The one below, this area is larger. Now, let me ask you a question. And I can answer this because I'm a spender. In every relationship, there is a spender and a miser. I'm a spender. So this is my bank account all the time. My debts are larger than my paycheck. So what happens when your debts are larger than your paycheck? You're always in the what?
Negative.
So this answer is going to come out to be negative. Even though area is not negative, your answer is going to end up negative because your larger area is under the what? X-axis. Your smaller area is above. So from a common sense standpoint, that's what they're trying to get across to you with the graph. Now the rest is just calculus. 2t to the fourth over 4 minus 4t. Evaluated at 2 and negative 1. T 4 over 2 minus 4t, negative 1 and 2. And I'm just going to draw 3 dots. Plug and chug, I get negative 4.5. And this says that the larger area is under the x-axis. That's all it says. That negative says this. That's what that negative says. And let's say that this is negative 9 and this is 5. If this is negative 9 and this is 5, what is negative 9 plus 5? Negative 4. See what I'm saying? So the negative, this negative right here is saying that the larger area is under the x-axis. I want to get to one problem out of 4.4. And the reason I want to get to it is so you can understand where we're going with this. And this is this problem right here. And we're going to go over some more Thursday. But this is where we're going with, and these are our test questions. The antiderivative of from 0 to 4 of, no, that's not what I want. Don't get that one. Hold on a second. This is the one I want. F of x, I'm going to do f of x in magenta. F of x is equal to 8 minus x squared. And g of x, I'm going to do in peach or pink. G of x is equal to x squared. Now this is what we're going to be doing in 4.4. These are two curves. We're finding in this section, where's my brown? In this section, 4.4, we're finding the area between two curves. Very, very, very important. The first thing you do when you see area between two curves is graph it. And I mean graph it with sketch a graph. You can use your calculator to help you, but you want to sketch it right out beside your problem. Now, your 8 minus x squared, what does that tell us? What kind of parabola is that from your algebra? Is it a positive parabola or negative parabola? It's a negative parabola, Hubert. That's right, class. And it's crossing at 8. So it's going to look like this. And of course, you know that the g of x, that's a regular parabola opening upward. Okay, so the first thing you do when you see the two curves, when you area under the curve, is draw a graph or sketch a graph. The second thing you do is find the intersection points. How do you do that? Well, you can use your calculator, but the quickest way, set equal to each other. Set equal to each other. So I'm going to do this in blue. I'm going to do this part in blue. 8 minus x squared is equal to x squared. And this is nothing but algebra. So I'm going to bring this x squared over because I like my stuff to be positive. So 8 is equal to 2x squared divided by 2. 4 is equal to x squared. X is equal to positive or negative what? And this is your upper bound and your lower bound. So we know it crosses at -2 and what? +2. So now you have your upper and lower bound, and now all you have to do is subtract the higher from the lower. Now this is very important that you understand this. The higher is the maroon or the magenta, because it's higher up. Your numbers for 0, the number for 0 is 8 right here. If you plug in 0 into this function, you're going to get an 8. If you plug in 0 to this function, you get a 0. So the magenta is the higher function. And when you set up, and I'm going to do this in orange, when you set up the area under two curves, you got to take the upper curve and minus the lower curve. That's supposed to be orange. It looks like red. See? That's orange. But it don't look orange. Y'all still with me, ain't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to finish this problem and then I'll let y'all go. But upper minus lower. So I'm going to go to the next page. I'm going to kind of keep these pages together. I'm going to write over to the right here. I'm going to just, there we go. So I'm going to set up this integration. I'm going to say the antiderivative from -2 to 2 of 8 minus x squared, 8 minus x squared, minus, and I'm going to do that in red, minus, and then I'm going to do peach or pink, x squared dx. And there is my antiderivative. Hold on. There is my antiderivative. Okay? And that's going to give you 8 minus 2x squared. So I'm going to rewrite this in orange. Negative 2 to 2 of 8. Negative x squared minus x squared is negative 2x squared dx. And now you're ready to take the antiderivative. I'm just going to start you off. That's going to be 8x minus 2x cubed over 3, evaluated at negative 2 and 2. Now, I'm going to let you figure that one out. I'm not going to finish it. But I'm also going to ask you this. Are these two symmetrical?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah, they are.
So you could do from 0 to 2 and multiply by 2. So I'm going to put or from 0 to 2 of 8x or 8, let's say 8 minus 2x squared dx, and then put a 2 out front of that, meaning that you're going to multiply the sum, or you're going to multiply your number by 2 when you get finished. Now that's where we're going. That, like I say, 4.1, 4.3, and 4.4 is going to make up 90% of your test. Why did I say 90? Because I could always add, you know, that question that we did with the 4 rectangles, I could put that in there for 4.3, but I probably won't, because unless it's a simple one. But that's it. What I would like to do Thursday is finish 4.4 and maybe start into a little bit of some of the things that I want to hit hot spots on with Tuesday, and that is some of the stuff that you're going to see in 2:30. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording, and y'all, I will see y'all Thursday.